I originally discovered printmaking when I was an undergrad at New Hampshire Institute of Art in Manchester, New Hampshire. I was doing a lot of other experimentation in painting and in watercolor and drawing. But the thing about printmaking that really clicked with me was the process that's involved. It kind of slowed down my ways of thinking too. If as a painter, if I was doing anything else, I would just work so fast and I would kind of never know when to stop. But as a woodblock printmaking artist, when you carve into the plate, you make a mark, it sets it in there and it's that's the way it is. So I liked the finality of that. I do a lot of animal-inspired imagery, mostly birds. I kind of have an ongoing series of bird portraits and birds in different environments. I have 3 birds myself. I have a white ring-necked dove and 2 society finches, so I spend a lot of time with them and I've used them for inspiration. But people often ask me, are you a birder, or does this image represent a particular kind of bird? And I actually respond mostly to the shapes and the textures and the patterns of animals. And I'm interested in the inner lives of animals too. Like I read National Geographic, or I listen to podcasts where they talk to animal behavior people that study animals. And I find that the idea that there's all these other living creatures that kind of like have all their own stuff going on, like out in the woods, to be kind of fascinating. So they're very much anthropomorphized versions of animals. I mean, you can see that when you look at my work. Nothing is literal. And I like that about, I like having the ability to do that. Like, I'm certainly not into like scientific illustration or anything like that. It's more just inspiration based on animals out there in the wild. I'm also doing a series where it kind of compares like human-based systems versus like the natural ecosystems and how those integrate. Like on my website, I have an image of like a plane and it's flying through like this big called a murmuration of birds, like a big cloud of birds, and then there's like a submarine and it's going through this big tornado of fish. It always has a natural aspect, a natural element. My favorite piece of equipment in my studio is my press. So I was fortunate enough in 2016 to have a 4x8 foot printmaking press made. What it allows me to do is, obviously things go faster when you have a press rather than hand printing. So if I want to make larger work, especially in color, it's already a very time-consuming process anyway. So to have the press, it kind of speeds it up. And it appeals to the technical side of me, because I get a certain sense of satisfaction where I'm working on like a larger plate and, I've run it through a few times and done a few color layers, and then I'm on the final layer and everything lines up perfectly. You send it through and everything's perfectly registered. And I will say that doesn't happen all that often. But that's kind of one of the reasons why I like the process, because it doesn't give you everything you want. You have to work for it.